Excuse me. Come on in and chit chat with me. It's dark. I'm here. It's just pitch black. It's so dark on this road. I'm here, but it's just dark where I'm riding from. But come on in. I just want to chat. I said, let me go and talk to my chosen family while I travel on this road. I said, let me come in and talk to my chosen family and just chat with you. What do you all have going on? I just wanted to come talk, something I love to do. I always have something to say, but I don't know how to be quiet though when I need to. When I need to be quiet, when I want to observe or when I want to check the temperature in the room, I know how to be quiet. You know, oftentimes I'm often quiet around certain types of energies, when the vibe is not right, I'm usually quiet because I have to pay attention to my surroundings. Make sure, like I said, I'm here. Here you are, just black on the road that I'm driving on. So I don't want to, be distracted, but I'm here live. Um, but I know how to be quiet though when I need to. And I'm quiet. Another thing that I've learned to do, and it's very wise to do, I had to learn over time. Um I didn't always have this information and knowledge. You learn and grow, right? Especially if you don't have anyone. After my grandmother's passed, I just had to figure out and just learn from what they gave me, the foundation. I had to learn from that and learn from reading, right? But one thing I've noticed is I've learned is everybody should not meet the real you. And I'm not saying you be fake and phony, but everyone should not know who you are through and through. You know how your kids know you, right? Like my children know me. They know all sides of me, especially my daughters. They know all sides of mommy. They know the silly side of mommy, the business side of mommy, spiritual side of mommy. They know all the sides of me. And everyone should have the privilege. They know the hilarious side of me. Everyone should not have that privilege of seeing the full you, right? You shouldn't open yourself up too much to people. That is earned, right? It is a privilege. It's a another level of um there's another level of access, right? That people should have. They shouldn't automatically gain full access to who you are through and through. And I had to learn that because I was the type of person, I was very open. There was no mystery about me because I thought everyone was like me. I thought everyone was very honest and open. When you don't have anything, excuse me, when you don't have anything to hide, I'm sorry for that. Clear my throat out on camera. When you don't have anything to hide, um, you tend to be more open. If you don't have anything to hide. So my little gullible self, I thought everyone was like that. I thought everyone was just honest and open in the world because I really did. I didn't have anything to hide. Some of the things I used to share, people, I'm sure people would be like, "Oh, I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have shared that." It's just how it was, right? And I had to learn over time that's not wisdom. That's not wise. It's not wise to, share everything about you. You give people too much access and they can have information on you that they shouldn't have and they can use it against you. So I had to learn to be mysterious. Holy Spirit had to teach me to be mysterious. Don't be so open. Always be honest, but don't be so open. Don't share information that don't need to be shared. Because I was just open. I overshared a lot, but I noticed the more mysterious I became, the more I didn't share. Because sometimes you feel like, especially on these jobs, right? When you work with people, you feel like they're your friends, right? You feel like because you work with them every day, but outside of work, some of you all, I know I'm not, I have a boundary, right? I tell people I'm very friendly, but I'm not going to make friends at work while I'm at that place, that facility. And the reason is because people will switch up on you in a minute, and that breeds a lot of, you know, people have their days. Let me just say that. People have their days, and to see somebody that's your friend, you see them in work, outside of work, that's not good. Not good for business, right? And I have made friends on my job, but that was after I left or they left. And I will only make friends with people who I realized they didn't operate and hang in cliques. I didn't hear their name always in gossip or something. I didn't see them always in gossip. So I handpick certain people that I want to be friends with, that I want to talk to, that I want to be in relationships with after I leave. I won't do it while I'm there, but I'll be friendly and I share things, but it's just I have a boundary, I have limits. Because I've seen over the years on certain jobs, I've seen how crazy things could get with people on jobs. I don't share anything what I got going on outside of my job. I don't share that at work. I just don't. I don't mention anything that I've like any book that I've written. I don't share that at work. Now, if they come find my YouTube and they so happen to see it, hey, it's a public platform. But for me to verbally say this is what I do, I keep them people business, their business. When I'm on them people's job, I'm about their business. That's just my mentality. I'm not there to do anything outside of what they hired me to do. And that's how I keep my boundaries. That's how I keep my life full of peace. I don't mix the two, right? I don't mix the two. And you shouldn't either. The smart thing would be is you go on those people's job, you do what they hire you to do. You don't have to be a butthole or anything like that. But you don't want to cross boundaries. You don't want to get so personal, sharing your personal business, over sharing things that people could use to have something to gossip about, which they're going to talk anyways, but things that you have given them from your mouth to talk about. Now, I've shared some things that I'm not ashamed of. Um, it is what it is. But I just don't believe in that. I just don't believe in having relationships and friendships like that at work because when you get in a tight situation, I know I'm loyal to people and I'll stick my neck out, but everybody won't stick their neck out for me. So I learned to fight by myself. When I got an issue, I fight by myself. I discuss things by myself. I don't bring people in because people are not going to have your back like you have their back, especially on these jobs. They're not going to have your back. So the best thing to do, you go to the job, work that job, do what them people told you, paid you to do, and you go home. And sometimes people will get mad at that because you stay to yourself. You're not in the gossiping circles. They don't know anything about you. They will get mad at that, but that's their problem, right? You got to let them, hey, that's your problem. That don't have anything to do with me. And that's how you have to look at it. You can't take things personal. And people will put you in things that you didn't ask to be in because you stay to yourself. When you stay to yourself, that angers some people, especially if they're insecure. When they're insecure and they on that low vibrational energy, they don't like that you stay to yourself. You don't get involved in foolishness. You don't know what's going on. You don't care what's going on, like the gossiping and all that. And that's that. Because I just feel like, to me, I got too much going on in my personal life to be worried about what's going on, the drama going on somebody's job. That's how I look at it. I got to save my energy for my own family. I got a 14-year-old, and I'm not as young as I used to be. So I need extra energy to deal and it's him. So I try not to get involved in things that are unnecessary. Right? That's how I keep peace. I don't get involved in things that don't concern me, nor my family, nor my friends, people I love. Even in that, I'm still trying to figure out a solution. So, but yeah, I just wanted to come chit chat with you all while I ride on my way home. It is pitch black on this road. Exactly. Yes, I had to learn that. You learn this over time, you know, you learn this over time. And people will be upset because you have boundaries, but that's on them. And I had to learn, that's what I had to learn, to stop being so concerned about. Because I used to be a person, when you've been abused, you try to calculate people's reaction, you consider their feelings. Um, you do a lot of calculation, right? You be in your head a lot. And I had to learn to not be in my head a lot about things and just handle things, because I would stay silent about things that bothered me or that concerned me, and I would just be there upset and just seizing in my own mind, and because a person can't read my mind because I didn't put up a boundary. Um, because I didn't put up a boundary, and it's not their fault, because people will try you. You just have to make sure that they see that boundary. And I had to learn that. I had to stop being so concerned about how people would feel about me telling them no, or me telling them that I don't get into that. I'm not a gossiper, or I'm concerned about myself. People will get mad. You let them know you concerned about yourself. You don't be into worried about somebody else's business and gossiping. Because that's so, and what I realized about gossiping, because I've done it, I'm not being hypocritical, I've done it before. But when I learned the spiritual aspect of it, right? I try not to get involved in that. If I walk up on people gossiping or talking, or I just I don't politely walk away. I just walk away. I used to like ease away, but no, I let it be known. If it's gossip, I'm not tiptoeing away. I'm just gonna do it about face, and I'm gonna go on about my business. And they gonna know where I stand, because it takes your energy away. Two, is against God. When you always gossip about somebody, it's witchcraft. Like, three, you ain't got nothing else better to do but gossip about somebody, and they're like, I got a lot going on I got stuff I'm doing in my life. When you have goals, this is what I've noticed. Look, y'all, listen. When you have goals and when you have things you're working on, you don't have time for gossip. You don't have time to waste time. You don't have time for meaningless discussions and meaningless gatherings and meaningless meetings and meaningless relationships. When you have a goal and when you have purpose, everything is intentional. When you have goals and when you have a purpose, everything you do is intentional. And you're going to be the type of person that don't like to waste time. People will get upset with you because you value your time. When you value your time, you won't waste it. You realize you don't get that time back, you won't waste it. And you have to plan time for certain things, like because I still do. I like going out fellowshipping or hanging and going to different places with certain types of people. So I will schedule time for that because it does something to my spirit when I go out and fellowship with certain people. I don't do it with everybody, but you have to break like the routine. But I schedule those times and not just wasting it. This something planned. This something that was planned. Yes, I like spontaneous things, but I like things that are planned too sometimes. Especially now with my schedule so full, I got things going on. I got things that I'm working on. I have to put people on the schedule. I have to put people on the schedule. Unless it's my children, which they're young adults, and I have one, 14-year-old, the ones who still live with me. Um, Unless we're gonna haphazardly go get some ice cream or something, which we haven't done in a long time. Well, I haven't done it with them in a long time. But other than that, when you have goals and you have a purpose and you have things you're working on, you won't spend your time gossiping. You won't waste your time on people who want to waste your time. Like, you got those people who just are time wasters. They like to take up your time talking on the phone about nothing, just wasting your time. You won't waste your time on things. You really won't. That's why it's good to have goals and have a plan. And although God's plan trumps everything, it's still good to have something written down. Things you want to do, things you want to accomplish. It'll keep you out of trouble too. It'll keep you on the right path. I remember when I was in at the community college years ago, a long, long, long time ago. I should have been a doctor by now. I was taking like one class at a time because I had a family. I did everything the un-American way. How they say you get married, go to school, graduate, get married, have a kid. My life was just all scrambled. I didn't do it in the linear path, how the society say you should do it, because God had other plans. And I thank God He did it I thank God it happened how it happened because when I had my son at the age of 20, really 19, I had him a day before my birthday. So I was 19 and I was living on my own, right? Um, when I had him, he really made me focus on life and push myself and try to do better and want to do better for him. Like when I started having my kids, that made me focus, stop partying, stop clubbing and all that. Because I'm like, oh well, I'm a mom now. Nothing planned, wasn't planned, but I always wanted to have kids, but not at that time. Um, but it made me focused on going to school, working, and really focusing on what I want to accomplish out of life. My kids gave me a purpose, like they pushed me to do better. And I went to college while I had my kids. Like I went to night school. Yeah, I went to night school. But I remember when I was at the community college, I was going to say, I had a professor, I forgot what class it was so long ago, but I remember I had a professor to he had us to write our goals and our plans. I think it was one of those introduction to college classes, college success classes that help you that helps you plan out what it is you want to do, or how the purpose, the reason you're in college. What do you want to do with your life? But he had us to write out a plan. And I never forget my plan I wrote. I wrote out my plan and I list a couple things, this, that. Um, and I accomplished everything that I had on my plan. It did not come in the year timing that I wanted it to come. And I'm glad it did not because some of the stuff I wanted by a certain time, I wasn't mature enough to handle it. I wasn't mature enough to steward it. So I'm glad I didn't get certain things when I said I wanted it on my paper at the age because I would have lost that. But I did accomplish everything that I set out to accomplish on my goals list. And it was only I won't say a few, it was like five. And I did graduate from college. That was one. Um, and there was some other things I had on there. And I accomplished those things too. I really did. And found the paper, it was old and wrinkled. I think I got rid of it by accident when I was moving. And I found the paper and I'm like, oh, I accomplished all of my goals. I was so happy. I'm like, and I wrote it for so long ago and I had the date on it. Yeah, get in the habit of putting dates on things. If you journal, get in the habit of putting dates and times on, what it is that you're documenting. So you can remember because you can't we can't remember everything that crosses our mind, everything that we've thought of. It's impossible. I don't know anyone that can remember every detail of everything that they've done when they did at the time. I don't know anyone like that. And I found that paper and I'm like, oh, I accomplished everything. I was so happy and proud of myself. Despite of I was losing my grandparents, all my parents died. During that time, I lost both of my grandparents 3 weeks apart. I lost my dad and my dad and my granddad 3 weeks apart. And then later, my mom passed away in 2010, and that's when I had finished undergrad, and I was getting ready to if I lost my mom, and then I, you know Life happens. That's why it's good to have goals, because when life happens, you could remember where you left off. You may take a pause for a minute. You may grieve for a minute, because I had to grieve. Um, but when you have your goals and you have your plan written out, when life go to happening, you can get back on track. You can remember where you were, because life happened for me. Life happened for me. I was going through a lot. I dealt with a lot. I had to overcome a lot. But when you have goals, goals will help you heal faster, right? Of course, with prayer and fasting and getting delivered and therapy and all that. But when you have goals, that will help you too, because it'll take your mind off yourself. It'll take your mind off what someone has done to you or how they treated you, because you're so focused on your goals, right? I got a black lotion in my. So goals will keep you grounded. Goals will keep you grounded. It'll keep you out of gossip and mess. Goals will keep you focused, right? Goals will keep you focused. Um, and to keep you your goals will keep you excited about life. That's why you should always have you some goals. And goals don't have anything to do with money. Yes, it takes money, but your goals shouldn't be always to get rich, it shouldn't be always about money. Yes, you may want to get out of debt, because that's what I want to do. That's one of my goals. But put things on there you enjoy. Put things on there you enjoy, that you want to enjoy. You want to learn how to salsa. You want to learn how to, you know, like paint. You want to draw. You want to go sky, like goals, things you want to accomplish, things you want to learn, things you want to do. I've taught myself so many things from YouTube. YouTube University, I have taught myself so much. And I'm one of those people, if I can see a person do it, I can do it. I'm a visual learner. If you show me one time, and my head just stamps it. My brain stamps it. So yeah, keep you some goals. Learn how to cook a new dish. Lose some weight. Start eat healthier. Like always have some goals. Exercise. Say you're gonna exercise for 20 minutes a day. Do simple things. That's what I learned about myself. I learned with myself to not do, to not try to, to try not to do things all at once, right? I try not to do things. I say I'm gonna work out, I have to ease into the workout, right? Like if I say if I'm going to start eating right, I have to do things in increments. Because when you try to do it cold turkey, you say you're gonna give up sugar, you try to do it cold turkey, you're gonna get frustrated and cause yourself to give up too soon. And I noticed by doing things in moderations and changing things over time, it creates better habits too. Like working out. Like when I first started working out years ago, I wasn't consistent, because I tried to do too much. I tried to do too much too soon, and I wanted overnight results. But then I realized if I could just do 10 minutes a day, or if I could just walk for 30 minutes a day until I build up the strength, endurance, then I could start doing other exercises. So that's what I do. I do other exercises now. I think I do my other exercises more than I walk. I started out walking on a treadmill in the community where I live. We have a small gym. I started out walking, and then I built my endurance up. This over years, right? Over time. And now I work out at least 5 days a week. You know, I get up early and I'll do, small things. Nothing cause you to sweat, but nothing strenuous, right? I got my dumbbells. I got me some resistant bands, some, exercise bands. And I just work the same routine. I do the same routine. I try to keep doing the same thing. I try to be consistent with the exercises. Now, if I get bored of one exercise, I'll change it out for another, but I try to do the same thing to build up a routine. And then I will switch out um, the exercises where I'm, that's bored. But like on my dumbbells, I'll start out with 10, and 15 pounds. But you only need 5 to see results. But if I want something to look intense, I'll do the same routine with a heavier dumbbell, right? And that's what I do. If I want more resistance, I'll get a heavier dumbbell, and it works. And I see results. They didn't come overnight, but I see results. So thank you all for chit chatting with me. Um, I'll talk to you all later. Just wanted to chit chat, talk, run my mouth as usual. But I hope my message still encouraged someone. Um, I hope it blessed someone. Just the thing I'm talking about. Sometimes we just need to, hear someone else share their story, share their challenges, share their testimony. That's why we're supposed to share different things with the right people, of course. And my family is the right people. My YouTube family, they are the right people. I remember, I ain't gonna tell y'all that. I'll say that. I would not say that at all. But you all be blessed. I think I'm gonna go. I'm almost home. So you all be blessed, and I'll come chat with you all later. I got some videos I need to upload. I just haven't been having time. I got so much content on my phone that I need to share with you all that I haven't been having time to upload. Being a content creator is a lot of work, you all. Don't think it's easy. Some people make it look easy. It's a lot of work. It really is. It is a lot of work. Just imagine if I was one of those people that had to get dolled up every time I did a video. I'll quit YouTube if I had to do all that. So that's why I come sometimes just in my natural form, makeup sometimes, without makeup, more in the face sometimes, without more in the face, head wrap sometimes, without a head wrap. It all depends. It all depends. So just imagine if I had to get dolled up every time. Ooh, I'll just quit YouTube in that case. In that case, I would not be a content creator. So you all be blessed, and I will talk to y'all later.